We are Black Horse. We are San Diego.
On a cool evening in downtown San Diego, California, the Padres getting ready for the final game of a three-game series. And before the game tonight, tuning up his stroke, Will Venable, a couple of hits last night. And against the Brewers, lifetime, a solid .326 average. The Padres need him and others to deliver. And how about Carlos Gomez on a tear, as are the Milwaukee Brewers, hitting over 500 in the last 9 games. As we welcome you to beautiful Petco Park. And the third game of this series, the San Diego Padres and the Milwaukee Brewers. And as Bob Uecker would say, oh my, the Brewers have won 9 in a row after starting 2-8, and no one in Major League history has ever started that slowly and come back to win 9 in a row.
Well, when you win that many ball games, everything has to go right. And for the Brewers, they're hitting the ball, they're pitching the ball, they're catching the baseball. And during the 9-game hitting streak, the numbers are great. But the one thing that really sticks out to me, Dick, is the bullpen ERA, 1.21. This was a question mark coming out of spring training. Why John Axford, the closer of years past, was getting knocked around. Nobody could get anybody out. Well, then now, the last 9 games, they've been lights out, getting the late outs in the ball game, key situations. And another reason, we talk about the hitting, how about this young kid right here?
Only 23 years of old. They acquired him from the Angels last year. He's number 3 in the National League with that .377 batting average, Gene Segura, and he can cover ground at short.
He is the whole package, and he's the type of player where the Brewers can build around for the future. To his right, to his left, and he's got a strong hose over there at shortstop. And another impressive thing about Gene Segura, the young hitter, he uses the whole field, hence the nice numbers for the young shortstop.
The Brewers, now they scored 5 in the first, 5 in the second last night. You've got to stop them early. When they score first, they're 8-1.
And that's a big task for Edinson Volquez, who's on the mound tonight. But last time out, he made some progress, and that's a good thing. Still seeking his first win, 6 innings, 8 hits against the Giants, who are playing good baseball. But strike one is obviously a key. He's got so much movement out of his hand. If he can throw the ball down the heart of the plate, let the ball do the work, get ahead and have him take the weak swings, because we know this Brewer team likes to hit the fastball, take the sting out of the bat. Hopefully Edinson Volquez can get that one victory tonight for the season.
And we welcome a new left-hander, 22-year-old Robbie Erlin. He has joined the San Diego Padres, making his Major League debut if Bud Black needs to use him. With that, Weber sent back to Tucson. Robbie Erlin is here, and so are the Padres and Brewers. Action coming up. Baseball brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. And by the Experience Buick Lease. It's a new lease on luxury.
The Padres and Brewers set for this third and final game of the series this Wednesday night. San Diego looking to add one more arm and a little more depth to their bullpen. So they call up 22-year-old lefty Robbie Erlin, who in his time in Tucson is 2-0 with a 4.73 ERA. Bud Black says maybe one of the toughest things or trickiest things for Erlin will be the transition from starter to bullpen guy, but says he really brings a lot of good things to the mound.
I think what will help him is that he's a strike thrower. He's going to pitch his style of game, which is, fastball command with a good changeup, occasional curve. So I don't think that he's going to change his style, even though he comes in maybe to start an inning in the middle of the game or come in to pick somebody up.
Erlin said he's pretty excited about this opportunity for his big league debut. An Oakland kid whose mom, dad, and brother all made the trip down here to hopefully see him. It's our Geico quote of the game. And coming up, it's Edinson Volquez on the mound as the Padres try to pull out this last one of the series. We'll see you back here at Petco Park after the break.
And we're set to go. Two teams with streaks for the Brewers, 9 straight wins. That's their best in 10 years in Milwaukee. And the Padres trying to snap a 7-game losing streak here at Petco Park. Let's take a look at tonight's Brewers lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Aoki Seguro, oh, he's a good-looking young player. Braun, MVP 2 years ago in the National League. Lucroy hits cleanup. Ricky Weeks is in the depths of a slump. Carlos Gomez is not hitting over 500, as we showed you earlier. Yuniesky Betancourt signed as a free agent at the start of the year due to injuries to key players Ramirez and Hart, and he's delivered 5 RBIs in this series. Martin Maldonado gets a start, the second catcher on the roster. He also can play first or third, not a DH tonight, but he will be at first base. Edinson Volquez on the mound.
And last time out, probably his finest outing of the year. It was a quality start for Edinson Volquez against the San Francisco Giants. And one thing that he's worked on in his bullpen session is kind of shortening his stride a little bit. It'll enable him to get up top and to work downhill. He's got tremendous movement, all of his pitches. And Dick, we know this. It's all about strike one from Edinson Volquez.
And how about first inning? Get out of that first inning unscathed. His defense, San Diego's defense, brought to you by Aramco Mortgage. Reads Quentin, Venable, and Denorfia left to right. Headley at third, Cabrera at short, Jerko at second. Yonder Alonso on the bag at first, with Nick Hundley behind the plate handling the right-hander Volquez.
You know what also would be nice for Edinson Volquez is to have that quick inning that you mentioned and have his teammates give him a little cushion early. Go out there with a 3-0 lead or possibly a 2-run lead.
Well, look at that. The Padres, most pitches in the first inning in the majors.
It's too much. They have to cut that down.
22 pitches per game. And that means you're fighting with base traffic, base hits, walks. Let's see if Volquez can zero in on that strike zone and get an early first inning.
Hey, if you're punching out the side and those numbers show up, I'll take that. But that's not the case.
Aoki, then Segura and Braun for the Brewers in the first inning, and we're set to go here at Petco. First pitch sails away. Aoki hitting .257. 8 years in the Japanese League, where his career average was .329. A rookie in Milwaukee last year. There's a strike barked out by Paul Emmel, the plate umpire. 1991 graduate of Central Michigan University.
He's a Chippewa behind the plate tonight.
All right. Hubba, Dreckman, Fagan, and Darling on the bases. Foul back. You think about this team of Ron Renickes. They're playing without Corey Hart, hit .270 with 30 home runs last year. He'll get back June 1st. And Aramis Ramirez batted 327 homers, 105 RBIs, and they're still racking up wins. Only a half game behind Cincinnati in the Central Division. 1-2. That hit him. Skipped just by his feet.
You know, I think he has so much movement in the box, Dick, that Aoki, when he starts to commit and that ball starts coming at your feet, it's tough to adjust and get out of the way. He'll actually get a running start at times. Let's see what he does here. He's got that momentum going, and yeah, those feet are planted, and it's tough to move those feet when that fastball is coming right at him.
So much the stance like Ichiro. 2-2. Right back to the mound. Volquez has one of the 3 outs in the first inning.
Well, we've seen the curveball, we've seen the fastball, and that was a changeup out of the hand of Volquez, and a big first out for the right-hander.
5 pitches to dismiss Aoki. Here's Gene Segura. 3 hits last night, raising his average up to the 3rd best mark in the National League at .377. 23 years of age, from the Dominican Republic, and of course followed the man on the mound, Edinson Volquez, from the Dominican as he grew up.
Did you see him eyeball on third base, Chase Headley there? Even when Volquez was in the delivery, he was looking down the third baseline.
Let's see what Headley might do. I don't think he had any intent on bunting. He takes a ball. Now he has Headley at the edge of the grass. Good curve. That was a nasty breaker. Chases another breaking pitch.
If Edinson Volquez can get that release point down and that curveball, he's going to have a good night.
Braun on deck.
And here it is out in front. Great arm action. Seemed to be a little bit more on line towards home plate that last pitch.
A ball, 2 strikes to young Segura. Protecting there. So he comes off a hot winter season, this kid. He led the Dominican League in winter ball in hitting with a .324 average.
That's a good league down there as well. Good pitching.
Brewers feel they've got a potential all-star for the next decade. Change up.
You know, it's a fine line, but Edinson Volquez kind of dragged his arm there. Worked around the baseball rather than staying on top of it. And we take a look going from the first base side of that pitcher's plate. He shook off the curveball, going fastball away here. Oh, it was a curveball. Couldn't see Nick Humley's fingers there. Got a little shadow working.
Little splash of blue off beyond the left field corner. Overcast day. There it is. Didn't see that all day. The marine layer heavy along the coast. Ball should not carry too well, especially as the game progresses. That went off the mask. Hundley, I believe.
Yeah. You know, I remember interviewing Nick, and to see where that hit, it hit up top. He said those really don't bother him that much because they glance. I mean, still, you're going to get your bell rung. But he said the ones that are like in the chin. I mean, that's like getting a boxer's right hand right in your chin and knocking your jaw back. The ones that glance off the head, he says they aren't that bad.
Up the middle, right at Jerko. 2 away. 13 pitches, 2 outs.
Well, let's break down the mechanics of Edinson Volquez. He does a good job of staying over the rubber there. Okay, now all his momentum's going to play. You see the changeup grip. Watch his head. Ball in hand, ball in hand. You know what? That's perfect. His head didn't leak. His body didn't leak. He was on a straight line towards home plate.
You watch that chin. It wasn't pointing over toward the Padre dugout. It was going toward home plate.
Maybe he needs to straighten his cap a little bit more towards home plate. He's got it tilted to the side a little bit.
Here's Ryan Braun, starting the season at .276, among the leaders in home runs and RBIs. In fact, he's 3rd in the league in RBIs with 20, only 2 behind the leader John Buck of the Mets. The MVP of the National League 2 years ago, and second to Buster Posey last year. And the count goes 2-0.
And we'll have a chance to see what Edinson Volquez is doing in Marco Estrada tonight via the Fox Tracks, brought to you by my great friends at Southland Technology.
They came out again today. They went from good to great.
Awesome. Audio, visual, home theater. It's awesome.
No, doesn't get the call there. Just on the black. 3-0.
Pretty good pitch.
But Black wondering what's wrong with that, but from his angle he couldn't tell how close it was to the corner. There's the strike. Against Volquez, Braun is a .360 hitter lifetime with a home run. Yeah, that's a good point about the brim of the cap. If it turned it more toward third base, maybe that would straighten him out. And the count goes full. Hits that one low and outside.
You know what, folks, that last pitch tells you a lot about Edinson Volquez, and that's why I said earlier, if he could just concentrate and not trying to dissect the plate, throw it towards the middle, knee high, and let the ball do the work. That had tremendous movement.
19th pitch of this first inning for Volquez, trying to get the Brewers in order. But it won't happen as Braun plants one into right center. Denorfia covering ground and gets the ball back in. A 2-out single.
All right, well, nobody on base, so Ryan Braun is up. Yeah, you want to keep him in the yard. So the first one, you know, is a two-seamer, moves his feet a little bit, so you can see his process here in away. But He wants to consistently stay away. Give him left field. But Ryan Braun is such a good hitter that he can go down and get it. You can see he was just trying to pummel the down and away spot on home plate. I'll tell you what, Edinson Volquez is thinking, you know what, I'll give him the single to right center. If I leave something over the plate, I'm reaching for a new baseball.
But if you did that same sequence and looked at it from Ryan Braun's point of view, that's just a good piece of hitting.
Absolutely. And that's why he puts up the numbers he does year in and year out.
Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher.
Two University of Miami guys right there, Alonso and Ryan Braun.
I'm sure they're exchanging some comments about the U. Braun there a couple of years before Yonder Alonso. They might have crossed paths. Lucroy, a big 2-run double in the second inning last night. Takes ball 1.
This is where Volquez has to get nasty. A quick out against Lucroy. That was the 20th pitch here in the first inning.
Lucroy from Louisiana, a breakout season a year ago, hit .320. That's a breaking pitch in there.
I love that shot. It's from the Enberg Suite over at that apartment building up there, the penthouse suite.
How sweet it is.
Yeah, got that right.
In there again, off speed, snaps it over the inside corner, 1-2.
A lot of curveball this inning for Volquez.
Top of the Diamond View Towers.
See, this is the dining room. This is the fireplace room. This is the master suite.
Wait a minute, who's in my suite there, up there?
The wine cellar's right there.
To third. Headley goes the short way, and Edinson Volquez denies the Brewers in the first inning despite the Braun single. Coming up, Cabrera, Venable, and Headley for the Padres. Here in San Diego, as we look at the Padres lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Cabrera leads it off with Venable, then Headley and Quinton. Alonso bats fifth. Denorfia in right field sixth. Jed Jerko still seeking his first major league homer at second base, bats seventh. Nick Hundley, and then Edinson Volquez. Marco Estrada.
No, he's a good one for the Brewers. Twirls from the right side, a fastball, changeup, and a curveball. But his book is that he's a strike thrower. Had a decent year last year in Milwaukee. 2012 ERA 3.6, not bad for that ballpark. But fewer hits than innings pitched. He only walked 29, Dick, in 138 innings, and he punched out 143 hitters.
Throughout his career, he's been a strikeout per inning pitcher.
Yep.
Hyundai brings you the Brewers defense, and it sets this way. Braun, Gomez, Aoki, In the outfield, Betancourt and Maldonado at the corners, Segura and Weeks up the middle. LaCroix behind the plate for Estrada. Man with Milwaukee colors and his San Diego cap, so he's well adorned. And then nice Padres jersey. Cabrera, left-handed, hitting .259, right-handed .350, and takes it out of the zone at 88 miles an hour. Everett leading the team in walks, runs, hits, steals. He's been on base in 15 consecutive games, either with a walk or a hit. That's what you want from your leadoff man.
Well, look at what Estrada does there. He's hiding his eyes. That was Andy Pettit like. Look at he's peering over that glove there.
Ooh, inside with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Estrada, born in Mexico, Sonora. High school in the San Fernando Valley in Sylmar, and then college at Cal State Long Beach.
Change up.
Way out in front.
I could peek inside his glove and see that. Obviously the hitters can't see that, but from the center field camera angle, you can see him work his hand around that baseball, and it's the circle change grip. About a half an inch between the bill of his cap and that glove.
Another changeup, and Cabrera goes down swinging.
Back-to-back changeups. He's peering in for the sign. He's got the two-seam grip, and then he will adjust accordingly. There's the circle change grip. Chokes it a little bit. Two middle fingers. Fastball arm speed. Oh, it's a cowboy cheese head. I haven't seen one of those. That's one Gene Autry would be proud of, huh?
I'm not so sure. No. Venable fouls that one away.
The cowboy wouldn't like that one?
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. Mr. Autry, when it came to Western attire and dress, I mean, he was GQ.
I'll bet you any money when he was decked out, he was wearing about $10,000 worth of gear.
His shoes alone.
Those boots. That's right. That's right.
He'd never touched that foamy stuff, though.
No. Howdy, Tex. That's a good looking hat right there.
Yeah, he'd use that to go out to rustle up the cows. Popped up to short. Segura has the second out.
Out in front. Early on, Estrada changing speeds nicely.
He's 2-0 this year, but his batting average against is pretty high, .292. Giving Padres some hope that they might be able to rattle some base hits, get some runs here early. Here's Chase Headley. So that changeup all the more effective with that 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Seems faster. Headley, a good string of games at least reaching base safely, 21 straight. Although he has only 4 hits in 21 at bats since returning, so those numbers go back to last year.
Well, the low strike as Carlos Quentin waits on deck. Nothing but fastballs to Chase Headley this at bat. He's going right after him. Curveball.
Sliced foul down the left field side.
Changeup.
Another foul.
Actually, a fastball at 91. Trying to a lot of fastballs. Trying to go up the ladder.
There it is. Confirmation of the consecutive games and reaching base safely. This won't do it. As Weeks throws him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Estrada. After 1 here at Petco, no score.
I had a conversation with Nick Hundley today, who was very candid about saying he doesn't feel like he's called good enough games this entire series. He says he has to do a better job of communicating with his starters what they are comfortable with when they come out of the pen. He says if their changeup is working for them or if they like their fastball, he goes, I have to find a way to accentuate those pitches, communication key. And of course, we know what a smart guy Nick is, and he puts a lot of that weight on his shoulders to make this team the best they can be, guys.
Yeah, that's a nice note. Thank you, Kelly.
Very nicely done, Kelly. Good point. And you know, a lot of catchers are accountable like that. They will take a lot of the heat, and take it amongst, put it on their shoulders, as she said. He's a good egg, Nick Hundley.
Yeah, that catcher's got to run the show.
Yep.
And he's got to make those pitchers believe and take the blame, even if it really isn't all his. One and one to Ricky Weeks, and he takes a strike. Weeks just having a terrible time starting the season. He's 4 for the last 55.
And it's Edinson Volquez's job to keep it just like that for one more game against these Brewers.
This is low. A good pitch, however. That tempting offering there for Weeks, but he lays off. Weeks, Gomez, Betancourt here in the second. Off the fist, right to Alonso. That one took off a few nails. One away. A reminder to be here at Petco when the Padres and the Giants go at it this Friday night. And after the game, celebrate the music of the Beatles and a spectacular fireworks show presented by Cooper Tires. Be sure to buy early. How about tonight? Save at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. Friday night, the opening game of the upcoming 3-game series with the world champion Giants. Carlos Gomez, the center fielder, steps in. A push bunt and a good one. Alonso, did he get him? No. Safe at first with a head first slide is Gomez.
You know, you might get an argument from somebody that Gomez may have ran out of the running lane. He's on the grass there. Oh, you know what? He ran out of the running lane.
He certainly did. That's why that 3-foot lane is there. He's outside it there. That's that should be an out.
Now I'm just wondering if, like, from the umpire's vantage point, if he was in the regulations of where he started his path towards the bag.
But he ran outside.
Right. And I'm wondering if that line, if that running lane is for specifically for when a catcher throws down to get to first base, he has to stay in that running lane.
Well, that's one of the reasons. Might be a play for Alonso, just not hit high enough nor near enough as he makes a gallant effort. I mean, in order to elude the tag, he left that 3-foot lane. There's no question about that. Now, that usually is not called unless a throw hits him outside the lane.
For instance, if he's running into the grass and the ball hits the runner, the umpire
can punch him out.
Can bang the runner because he did not run within the 3-foot lane there that is chalked off down the first base line. It looked like he went more than 3 feet, though, Dick, didn't it? From where he started, trying to avoid the tag.
Yeah, I think he sold it by keeping his shoulder in the lane, but his feet both of them were outside. Betancourt, the veteran, 5 runs batted in the first 2 games of this series. Good pickup by the Brewers at the start of the season. He hits this one to right field. Denorfia tucks it away. 2 gone. Now you got to keep your eye on Gomez with 2 outs. He's a definite threat to steal. Last year, he was one of only 5 players in the league with at least 15 homers and 30 steals. And look at there. He 25 feet off the bag before Volquez looked him back. He's a dancer. Good lead. Martin Maldonado. The very end of last season, remember in the final series of the season, he hit a grand slam.
Yes.
And beat the Padres single-handed 4-3. One of his 8 home runs. Backup catcher can be used at first as he is tonight. Only 26 from Puerto Rico. Get that grand slam off Anthony Bass. Crushing blow. Broken bat and a foul ball. By plate umpire Emmel. Here it was. The Padres looked like they were going to win 3-0, but Maldonado with the bases full cranked a long shot to left center. The Grandmaster in a 4-3 win.
You know, the ball jumps in Milwaukee at that ballpark, but the way he hit that baseball, that would have been out anywhere. And a good sign on that last pitch. Sure, it was a foul ball, but Edson Volquez gets in the kitchen of Maldonado and breaks his bat.
2 outs. Gomez at first. No score. Top of the second. Brewers shooting for 10 straight wins. They've never swept the Padres here at Petco. Garth Org, veteran infielder, now the coach there at first base for Milwaukee. 2 strikes on Maldonado. He takes a big man's cut. Good to have the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego here. They honored the 15 Youths of the Year. And then the Del Norte High School Band, a terrific national anthem. Thanks for coming.
It's good to see the Utes here. Excuse me, did it say Utes? Oh, I'm sorry, Youths.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Volquez with his first strikeout. It'll be Quinton leading off the Padres second. In Denver, an old friend, Yorvi Torrealba, with a walk-off home base hit and a win for the Rockies against the Atlanta Braves. And the celebration, Yorvi, great character. He didn't want to be tackled and rubbed around. Finally relents. So the Rockies with their 14th win, 14-7, now have a lead of a game and a half over the Giants and 2 in front of Arizona. Now let's go back to the play at first base. Gomez sliding, and you've got the rule book out, Mark.
Yeah, 6.05 K. The batter runner is permitted to exit the 3-foot lane by means of a step, stride, reach, or slide in the immediate vicinity of first base for the sole purpose of touching first base.
Great call, first base umpire Bruce Dreckman.
That's why the rule book is awesome. And you know what? Kudos to the umpires. Got the right call.
Carlos Quentin back in the lineup last night from the 8-game suspension. Had an RBI single and 3 trips and a walk. Line drive, base hit. Padres have their first hit.
And there goes the no-hitter thanks to Carlos Quentin. Going down and getting a fastball off the end of the bat. Right up the center of the diamond. And Padres need to get some extra base hits tonight to get on that board early.
Yonder Alonso steps to the plate. Yonder at 260. Shares the RBI lead with Will Venable at 9. Going to fall in front of Aoki. Quentin had to play it halfway. Jogs into second. Back-to-back singles. And the Padres have something brewing in the second.
Oh, nice, Professor. You know, I noticed one thing early in the first inning. You know, we saw Estrada throwing some off-speed pitches, change-ups. And I'm just guessing that now, you know, Carlos Quentin taking a fastball at the center of the diamond, and Yonder Alonso, that's the first pitch of the at-bat. It was a fastball. Maybe the mentality is, you know what, if we see fastball early, we're going to jump all over it.
Chris Denorfia, a .338 lifetime average against Milwaukee. And they keep statistics for everything. There's his average on the year, the best for the Padres, at .333. And for whatever reason, he does his best hitting under the lamps. Night play, hitting .366. That's the 10th best in the National League. Here's the time and the environment. 2 on, no one out.
Oh.
2-0.
See the way Lucroy tried to handle that curveball? It almost looked like he got crossed up, but no discussion from the catcher.
Low and away, 3-0. After a couple of base hits, Estrada falls behind. 3 balls, no strikes. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk, and they're loaded with Padres. Quentin to third, Alonso to second, and Denorfia with a 4-pitch walk.
Great discipline by Chris Denorfia, loading them up. And look at that, nobody out. This is the inning the Padres need to do some damage.
Jed Churko. 6 RBIs so far this year. Infield back. They'll try to double play for a run.
So this is where I think strike 1 is okay. If he takes a strike.
He doesn't. Line drive. Back to second. Double play. Oh, my. Could it be worse? Well, they turned an unassisted double play on a line drive last night off the bat of Cabrera. So 2 on and 2 out now.
Another struck ball sharply. Segura gets rid of it quickly, and the second base umpire, Clint Fagan, all over it. Just that one little step, and it's so hard. I mean, It's easier said than done, but they want you to freeze on the line drive. It was just that one little step by Yonder Alonso towards third base. That was the difference in that double play. Just that one little commitment to third. He realized he caught it and then didn't get back in time.
So first and third, 2 outs for Nick Hundley. That's where this game can be so cruel. Teams that are struggling to get a win, hit a line drive for 2 outs, and teams that are going well check swing blooper and knock in 2 runs. Hundley, a couple of hits last night, raised his average back over the 300 mark. And like Denorfia, good hitter at night, 375. That's 8th best in the National League.
Changeup.
Way out in front. And it's 1-2.
You know, Estrada has a very unorthodox way of going into the stretch. He's got an open stance when he is getting the signal from Jonathan Lucroy. And then he'll actually come set. He'll put his hand in his glove down by the ground. Open set there. He'll get the sign. Then watch. He'll go down below his knees to put the ball in his glove and then come up to the set position. Everybody has their own little timing, comfort zone to get into that stretch position. And that's
unusual. Yeah. Out of play. Well, he was a former relief pitcher, and of course most of the men in the bullpen find some little twerky, unusual move, and this would be his.
Yeah. Hey, remember Clayton Kershaw? He went way above his head, right? Going into a stretch.
Yeah, he goes way below, almost touches the ground with the ball.
Lucroy wants this one in the dirt.
2-2. Pitcher Edinson Volquez on deck. Motioning to umpire Emmel as the count 2-2. Yes. Deep knee bend. Strike 3 call. Bases loaded, no one out. The Padres come up empty. Line drive, double play, killed them. To the third, no score. And we want to invite you on Sunday to join the Padres as they honor the men and women of the U.S. Coast Guard with U.S. Coast Guard Appreciation Day presented by USAA. They'll be playing the Giants, and there'll be a special pregame ceremony before the Padres take the field. 1:10 opening pitch. Get your tickets. That's Sunday U.S. Coast Guard Appreciation Day at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555.
One of the best out there, that statue. I mean, when we travel the league, folks, they have all the greats outside the ballparks. That by far, hands down, Dick, I'm sure you would agree, Tony Gwynn is the best around.
It really did capture his incredible swing. Marco Estrada, 10 at-bats, 2 hits. How about that Bob Uecker statue? It's almost a tongue-in-cheek, the fact that he's depicted with both hands in his pockets, not with a microphone in his hand or any other, idea that he might be a communicator. Who knows what he's got hidden in those pockets, Well, he did reveal something I'd never known before, that actually at the end of the season he got out of the statue and then went on with his life, that he was in there. He had to put money in to hear him talk.
Oh, that's great.
Ground ball, ranging is Jerko, and makes the play.
Well, not an easy play. Estrada inside out that baseball. Jed Jerko actually gloves that ball behind him. Still has plenty of time, but that's the right play. Great accuracy coming from down under, picking up Edinson Volquez.
Alonso just maintaining contact with the bag for the first out. So through the order the first time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ground ball outs for Volquez.
It's a good sign.
Norichka Aoki tap back to the mound the first time. The base hit was a bunt in the series. Line to left. Solid single. Tough man to strike out. Aoki. In fact, that's our Saquon Vacation strikeout statistic of the game. 16.6 at bats per strikeout. The toughest. Cito Polanco now with Miami. Alcides Escobar, Kansas City. Fonte in Detroit, and Kinsler, Texas. But Aoki handles that bat.
That's putting the ball in play. And that's what you need at the leadoff spot.
Third hit for the Brewers brings up Gene Segura. He grounded to second his first time. Ball and a strike. Breaking ball missing. Well, off day tomorrow, and then the Giants come to town, the world champs, and boy, some great pitching matchups. Chance for you to come out and see the Padres. Try to put a dent in their early season. Buster Posey and Pablo Sandoval. We're going to see Tim Lincecum right off the bat on Friday night. Lincecum, Zito, and Vogelsong for what many feel the best 5-man rotation in the National League. Of course, Friday night fireworks as well. Big hole on the right side for Segura. High fly ball. He just missed that one. Center fielder Venable. Second out.
Sometimes, Dick, when you hang a pitch, it works to your advantage, but you have to hang it just enough. This is a curveball. Look at how high it is on contact. It's just above the belt, but Segura works underneath it. A little bit of loop in that swing. Can't get the top hand on it. That tells you one thing. That breaking ball, even though it was up, had some sharp break to it. And 2 outs now for Volquez. Don't shut your toolbox here, though. Ryan Braun coming up.
He singled to right field in the first inning. His dad is here. Grew up in the San Fernando Valley. Went to Granada Hills High School before matriculating at the University of Miami. Nice to have your dad, obviously a big influence in any professional baseball player's life. The father, there he is, Joe. Got the hat that you like so much.
Oh, love that logo. And I'm sure he has seen him hundreds of times, and he still gets nervous. Look at that. He's still nervous with his son up at the plate. You know, I talked to Bruce Bochy in San Francisco, and I asked him about his son Brett, who was in big league camp, and now he's in AAA. And he goes, I got to be honest with you, Mark. Every time he went out there to pitch, I was so nervous. I've never been so nervous in my life. So even when you're a big league manager, right? You see your own son out there, even when you're a parent, seeing your son play, the stomach is churning.
Good fastball, first strike to Braun. And comes back with a curve, 0-2.
The Padre pitcher is consistently trying to keep the ball away from Ryan Braun, and if you want to move his feet, throw a fastball in, you better make darn sure you get it inside off the plate.
Braun's quite an entrepreneur. He has his own t-shirt line. He has his own bat line, RB8, and a couple of restaurants in the Milwaukee area. Fouled into the glove of Hundley. No, they say it hit the ground first. Paul Emmel said he's still alive. Good job by Hundley trying to get the call, but Black going to make sure. And just informational visit. Seems satisfied.
Oh, you know, kind of tough to tell there. I know Nick Hundley's glove, there was a little bit of dust that came up. I don't know whether it was from the ball or from Nick Hundley's glove.
You see Braun look back at the plate umpire and say, nice job. 0-2. Hail to the Chippewas. In the dirt, blocked by Hundley. Get another look at that foul tip.
Well, he definitely foul tipped it, but does Nick catch it cleanly? No, it hits the ground. So good call. No, if it's a foul tip and he catches it cleanly, he's out.
Yeah.
But because it hit the ground after the bat. New life for Ryan Braun.
No doubter. Headley to second for the final out. Volquez on 49 pitches is through 3 shutout innings.
beautiful night for the AT Twitter poll question. This is a good one. Who will be your pick to win the NL Central? Remember, use your hashtags. Hashtag Red Central, Cardinals Central, Brewers Central, Pirates Cubs. You know the routine. And interesting because in spring training, Mark Sweeney and I and a few other people, we were trying to predict a World Series for this year. I picked Baltimore, Cincinnati. So, Mark Sweeney, I'm going Cincinnati Reds, Red Central. Hashtag Red Central for my pick.
Yeah, I like that pick as well. And the reason for it, I would definitely choose the Cardinals, but not having Jason Mott as your closer, that is very difficult for them. And also not having Rafael Furcal at short hurts as well.
Bottom of the third, Edinson, Volquez, then Cabrera and Venable for the Padres. No score.
Dick, you got a favorite in that Central?
Too early. It's going to be. I think it's a great division.
Yeah.
And I, like every other guess, the pitching staff wins championships, and I think the Reds have an edge in the starting rotation. You got that fireballer Chapman in the bullpen.
Right now, Cincinnati's bullpen really isn't doing that well. An ERA of over 4, but still early. But you're right, though. That's a good division, Dick. Good
hack by Volquez. I want to tell you that Estrada almost looks through the webbing of his glove to get the sign.
Yep.
Waved that and missed. Third strikeout for Estrada. He was picked by the Washington Nationals out of Cal State Long Beach 8 years ago in the 6th round, and claimed by waivers from Washington by Milwaukee 3 years ago. And they put him in the bullpen, and then last year, because of injuries, they elevated him to a starter, and off to a good start this year in that role. The injury to Chris Narveson pushed him into the starting rotation, and that Narveson hurt again this year.
Hey, Mark Sweeney's down by the dugout. You get a good look at Kotze. He's got a left-handed catcher's glove.
Well, I ended up ordering one of those too when I had Rawlings, just to have, because you don't usually get one of those. I didn't need too many of those gloves because I didn't use too many gloves, but I definitely ordered one just to have it.
Now, did you ever go out and in between innings when the catcher was putting his gear on? Did you warm up the pitcher at all?
Yeah, everyone wanted to try to do it, but I'd always forget my glove in my locker, so I was
That's a good place
always
for
that second thing. But yeah, you just played around with it, but yeah, you always want to get in there and see what that pitch looks like from that catcher's perspective.
Cabrera trying to bunt his way on, fouled that one over the screen, so he's down on the count 2 strikes. Struck out the first time.
You remember a player, Dick, by the name of, and Mark Sweeney, Mike Squires, played for the he caught a game left-handed for the Chicago White Sox. It was the late 70s, early 80s.
Didn't Dale Long, the left-handed hitting first baseman, also catch a little for the Pirates?
They have.
Ground ball to the left side. Ranging is Betancourt, and he gets Cabrera 2 away.
You know, that's a good question when people ask, why aren't there more left-handed catchers? And you know what, to be quite honest with you, I can't answer that. I can see where the left-handed first baseman is an advantage because you don't have to turn your body to throw any of the bases.
I think it's the most difficult throw, probably throwing the third if you're a left-handed catcher. Just the footwork, trying to get that your body in position to throw to third.
How many times?
Another ground ball. This one off the bat of Venable. Weeks throws him out. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Estrada. We've completed 3 at Petco. Milwaukee, San Diego, no score. One Casino. Real friendly and real close. And by the Arumco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Yeah, watching on Monday night at home, Mike Pomerantz took over with the play-by-play, able to not only see the action, but some of the commercials, which we don't get to see while we're working a game. Jerry Coleman doing the Arumco commercials. Terrific job by the Colonel. He sells it.
He's the best.
Jonathan Lucroy, the cleanup hitter, catcher. Grounded to third his first time, and this is a one-hopper at the shortstop, Cabrera, for the first out. Another ground ball out. Most pitches, innings 1 through 3. Padres second most behind Houston, almost 58 pitches in the first 3 innings. It was 49 for Volquez through his first 3 tonight.
No, Mark Sweeney as a hitter, you know, there's scouting reports on everything out there. There are no secrets. You can find everything. So do you take that in consideration and possibly taking a strike against a staff that has those numbers?
Yeah, Mark, I think it's a point where you have to almost take a 2-0, 3-1 approach early in the ball game. Try to get information. A lot of hitters take those approaches, especially with nobody on. That's when you want to gain a lot of information. With people on base, you want to go with your strength.
Yeah, and especially a hitter like Ricky Weeks, who's struggling right now. You know, the count now in his favor, 1-0.
Change up in there. You saw Weeks has had success against Volquez. A couple of home runs. .6-4, 15 counting the ground out tonight. That'll make it to the crowd.
Well, that's exactly what's happening, guy. When you're going through struggles, you get out of the strike zone, but you also swing at a pitcher's pitch and you take strikes, and it almost feels like you're doing the opposite. So you want to be aggressive with your pitch, and especially fastballs.
So what did you do when you were in the slump?
Well, I had to go with fastball because that's what gets you to the big leagues, hitting off a fastball. But if they throw a good breaking ball, and Mark knows this, most times you're going to be out.
Yeah, good point.
Up the middle, and there's an elusive base hit for Weeks. The 4th base knock for the Brewers tonight, all singles. Did you change your position in the batter's box or do any other adjustments?
Yeah, it's such a good point, Dick. I like to stay in the same spot, and I think a lot of that had to do with Tony Gwynn's influence. Tony didn't like to do anything, but Tony was far up in the batter's box, but he didn't change too many times. I like to stay where I was and work off what my strike zone was.
There's a lot of the old theory was going all the way back to Ty Cobb. When you're in a slump, get up on the plate and make sure you have a good idea where that outside corner is, and in a way I guess you're giving up yourself in terms of power if you're crowded too much. Gomez a push punt single in the second inning. Two and 0.
You know, we saw that hit off the bat of Ricky Weeks, and when you're slumping, and Mark Sweeney could probably attest to this, you don't have to hit it on the sweet spot. He got jammed. It was a 2-seamer in to Ricky Weeks, but they had him playing to pull. So that grounder finds a hole, and nobody needs that more than Ricky Weeks. But hopefully Volquez can get another grounder here, get a double play, and get out of the inning.
Tough man to double up. Gomez, good runner. There goes the runner. Taken. Hundley's throw. Nope, nearly in time. So the Brewers have their first man in scoring position tonight with 1 out.
Well, before this ball game, opposing runners off Edson Volquez were 6 for 7. Stolen bases. No pickoffs. Now Weeks in scoring position.
His third. Let's check that if it's his third or his 4th steal of the season. Shot right at Headley. Looks the runner back. 2 away. Gomez crushed that one, but right to the glove of Headley.
Hey, that's a big league hang with him. Perfectly placed, Chase Headley. Hit so sharply, freeze that runner at second base, and then make the play. 3-hopper, eye him back, freeze him. And Cabrera was just kind of moseying over towards third base just in case to cover that bag.
Betancourt fly to right in the second inning.
How about Gomez getting the green light? 3-0 there.
High fly ball, shallow and left. Cabrera out, Quinton in. Quinton calls and has it for the final out. A single per inning for the Brewers, but no score. Here come the Padres.
Of the San Diego Padres that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form in the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. Dick?
He's kind of a flashy, frantic Friar with us tonight.
Oh, that's the dancing Friar out there trying to rally everybody against Marco Estrada.
He's allowed a couple of singles. Quinton and Alonso with back-to-back hits to open the second. And then DeNorfia walked to load the bases with no one out. Jerko lined into a double play, and Hundley struck out. And Padres came up empty. Headley grounded to second. Quinton and Alonso to follow here in the fourth. Quickly ahead on the count, 2 strikes.
Estrada trying to go up and away. Fox Tracks brought to you by Nissan. You see 2 pitches almost identical.
Out of the zone.
I wanted to ask Mark Sweeney if he in his career has ever had a finger injury of some sort, trying to bounce back from that.
Yeah, not a finger injury, but I had a hand injury that I had lack of strength in my top hand and made it very difficult, but just added to it, and I would just aggravate it, and it kept on getting worse and worse. But it's very difficult not having that strength in your hands.
Line foul.
A lot of this, guys, though, for Chase Headley, this is his spring training. You know, and he's a lot of things are quick to him now. And when you have a base of at bats, you feel like you can slow the game down. I think when Chase Headley gets that, you'll see those foul balls turn into those doubles and possible home runs.
Yeah, he said after the game last night that he feels like he's about spring training final week and a half, 2 weeks. And that's why, as we made the comment last night, as much as all the Padre fans are just cheering for this combination of Headley and Quinton back together again to produce runs, that in fairness to them, they're both not season sharp.
Right. Yeah, and think of this also. When you talk about spring training, you might be hitting against A-ball guys, double-A guys. Now, Chase Headley spring training at the big league, he's going against the top 5 of each organization that the Padres are facing.
Line to right. Aoki comes in to make the catch. 1 out, and here's Carlos Quentin. Quentin single to center in the second inning. Speed.
That ball is hit deep to left. If it's fair, it's gone. Touch 'em all.
Whoa, was that up in the Western Metal Supply Company building? The Padres take the lead 1-0. Carlos Quentin's first home run of the year.
Count 1-0. It's a hanging breaky ball, and Carlos Quentin is out in front of it just a little bit, stays back just enough to keep it fair. Oh, that's got a good sound to it. In the upper basket.
Alonso trying to bunt with the third baseman Betancourt way off the line. Let's check exactly where this rocket landed.
Oh, the top window there of the third deck. Yeah. That ball's crushed.
Well, with a home run against the Brewers, he's got the full package now. He's homered against every team. He had not hit a home run against Milwaukee, hadn't had that many chances, but he's got one now.
Hey, that's a big jug of water there, Carlos. He's going big gulp on the water on us now.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, got to stay hydrated, right?
So a single and a home run for Quentin tonight. .392 feet they measured the home run. That one lifted to left. Easy chance for Braun. 2 away.
Hey, Mark Sweeney, hanging breaky ball, and a lot of times power hitters like that getting out too front and they pull it foul. What was the key there, keeping that fair?
Well, I think you looked at it, Mark, and you said exactly that. He stayed back on the baseball, and if you could look at his lower half, this is where Carlos understands to power the baseball, you got to use your lower half, driving through the ground and driving that. Had a different sound on it.
Wow. What a pretty looking swing there.
Chris Denorfia walked the first time. Lines at foul. That would have scattered the old visiting bullpen.
Yeah.
But of course, they now are positioned up beyond the Padre bullpen in left center field. Chop to short. Tough play. Just in time to get him. Almost a leg hit for Denorfia. Fans thought he had beaten it up. Here comes Bud Black. He thought so too. Padres going to run. Carlos Quentin clubs his first homer of the year. 1-0. Spot in left field. That's got to feel good to get that first home run out of the way. Kristen Norfia robbed of a hit. Close play at first, and on the replay, he may have beaten it out.
Well, this is what's great about having technology. You can see his foot on the bag just as that ball. Yeah, the ball is near Maldonado's glove, but not in the glove. So, yeah, it looks like Kristen Norfia beat that one out.
But in the books, it's a 6-3 putout as we go to the 5th inning, and Edinson Volquez with a 1-0 lead.
And you know what, Dick? That was a good play by Segura because he was screened by Betancourt, cutting in front of him. For him to concentrate, catch, and then throw that baseball, very impressive.
Martin Maldonado struck out swinging the first time. Then it'll be the pitcher Estrada and the leadoff man Aoki. Pitch number 61 from Volquez. So far, following up on his good outing last Friday night at San Francisco when he went 6 innings, allowed only 2 runs, 8 hits, no decision. That was the game where Headley tied it up at 2-all, only to have the Giants win it on the walk-off double by Angel Pagan in the 9th. Two and 0 to Maldonado. 92 on the fastball.
And he wanted that one down and away. It's location of the fastball, even though it's a called strike. Got to be careful.
Broken bat shattered, a little soft fly at the home plate area that Nick Hundley able to collect. One away.
Now you talk about getting in the kitchen of Martin Maldonado. Oh my goodness gracious, it's like a stickball bat right now.
That's the splinter of the year.
He's rattling the Tupperware, the Calphalon.
Good concentration by Hundley to find that because it wasn't hit very high.
The Pyrex.
Tupperware.
Everything. Great pitch.
Nick Hundley settles in. Marco Estrada now with 1 out. Good looking changeup.
You know, guys, watching Edinson Volquez work tonight, he has a certain calmness down here that you can see. He understands what he has to attack, but usually he gets out of sorts, and he's very positive about himself tonight, especially his body language.
You know, the thing I noticed, Mark, is that he's straight on to home plate. He's not leaking over towards the first base side. That pitch was a perfect indication of that. We showed it earlier on an off-speed pitch, and you know, I know it sounds so easy, but it's something that comes with repetition. See if he stays on line.
Truck came out again.
Hammer time.
Second strikeout for Volquez. And with 2 away to the top of the order, Arichka Aoki.
What did MC Hammer say? Can't touch this. Here's the motion over the rubber, and let's keep an eye when the ball is in the hand. See where his head is. Home plate, home plate, home plate, coming towards home plate. Yes. Nicely done, Edinson Volquez.
Aoki tapped to the mound and singled to left field. Skips that one in.
And Dick, I just want to say, even though it was Estrada at the plate, the pitcher, the location, the bite of the pitch, and where it was thrown, it was an excellent pitch.
Another off speed. 2-0. Two outs here in the 5th. Padres lead it 1-0 on the home run by Carlos Quinton.
Good fastball in right here.
Jerko with a quick throw. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Edinson Volquez. So far, this is the best Volquez has pitched all year.
Talking about Jed Jerko and some of the adjustments he's made, let's take a look at his side angle, and this front shoulder has to stay closed as much as possible. Last night's single, and you could see that coil on the top half. He hits this at the end of the bat, but when he stays square to the plate, he's going to be able to power the ball. We haven't seen the power yet from Jed Jerko, but he's working on these things. He's working on his lower half, but that coil that he has up top is really hard to stay closed. He gets that rotation, and sometimes he gets in trouble with that with the breaking ball.
Hey, Mark, and to elaborate on that point, if he keeps that tucked, will that enable him to drive the ball more towards center field and right center field?
And I think that's his strength, Mark. If you saw the spring training at bats, when he powered the baseball, it was always to right center field, and if he stays square longer and gets that ball a little bit deeper, I think we're going to see the power come from his bat.
Nice. He lined into a double play the last time and fouls this one away. Bases were loaded, no one out in the second inning, and Jerko hit it on the nose, but right to the shortstop, who turned it into a double play.
It was the coiling that Mark was talking about. Almost as like a pitcher going into the leg kick, showing the number and name on the back.
Hits this one to right field. Aoki, though, good break on the ball and has the catch just shy of the warning pad. One out.
Had the right idea there.
Nick Hundley took a third strike, his first at bat.
Hey, speaking of catchers and Nick Hundley, we had the discussion left-handed catchers. You were right. Dale Long back in 1958 for the Cubs, left-handed catcher. The last left-handed catcher, Benny DiStefano, with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 1989. And to take it one step further, guess who the emergency catcher is for the Milwaukee Brewers? Logan Schaefer, who throws left-handed.
All right. Can be done. Kotze's got the glove. Might be Kotze, you know, if he double emergency.
Sharing notes. Hitting notes, hitting nuggets. Pass it along to the next guy.
It's the beauty of baseball, guys. That knowledge in the dugout is priceless. That's when you learn the game. Obviously, experience helps, but you need to have those conversations.
That's what I miss a lot of, Mark, is talking, especially when I was younger, to the veteran guys.
Just missed, and the count goes 2-2.
And you know what I would have done differently? I would have talked more to the hitters because, you know, pitchers hang together, hitters hang together. I would have gotten inside the head of the hitters to find out what they're thinking more of.
I think that's the biggest mistake, Mark, that the pitchers and hitters don't talk enough.
Yeah.
Full count now to Hundley. That one nicked Lucroy. So plate umpire almost taking a little extra time. Let Lucroy settle.
A little dusting off of the plate, maybe a little conversation.
You know, also, Mark, I think that's another reason that Lucroy gets hit right there. That's another reason I didn't warm up too many pitchers.
Hey, it's the first piece of equipment my dad bought me when I registered for Little League. He brought home a little paper bag from the sporting goods store. Son, you're wearing this.
Little soft fly ball by second, and Weeks drops it. He got turned around. That ball was a twister. Had a little action sailing away from Weeks. We'll see how the official score saw it.
I think that's a catchable ball. Ricky Weeks has got to glove that for his pitcher. Let's take a look. Antiem, it's a twister, and he can't come up with it.
They scored a single.
Yeah, that's got to be caught. That you know what? If I'm official score, and that's great for Nick Hundley to get a knock, but that's got to be caught. I think that should be an E4.
Dave Roberts saying, "Congratulations, you really got all of that one."
Yeah.
So 1 out. Gift single to Nick Hundley brings up Volquez, a chance to bunt Nico over to second, and hope Cabrera can add to the 1-0 lead. It's been an adventure for Volquez in these situations to bunt.
And you know what? One of the toughest pitches to bunt, Dick, is that curveball. So Estrada starts him off with a number 2 for strike 1. Mark Sweeney, a little instructional before the game today, talking about bunting.
Yeah, not a bad time. If you're when in doubt, you got to bunt it back to the pitcher, guys. These are aggressive guys on the edges.
There, he gets that one in play. No time to go to second, so Lucroy to first, and now the race to third for Hundley. Throws it away. Hundley keeps right on going, and the Padres get a second run. How about that? Some bold base running by Hundley. They get the out at first. No one covering third base, and he was sprinting with shortstop Segura to third, and then the throw, a very difficult throw, gets away, and the Padres earn a unearned run.
Look at Bencourt's charging. So now Nick Hundley says, hey, there's nobody at third base. He just needs to keep pace with Segura because they've got to throw a perfect strike to a guy in motion. Good luck. The short hop.
So if you're scoring to second on the sacrifice, and he comes home on the throwing error by second baseman Ricky Weeks. He saw Segura. It was almost like a quarterback and his wide receiver. Come on, hit me. I can catch it and make the tag. But that was a very difficult play as Hundley was only a step behind Segura going to third.
I mean, that's a ball that looking back now, that's a ball he's got to hang on to because there are 2 outs if he hangs on to that baseball.
So the put on the sacrifice is 2-4. And then the errant throw by Ricky Weeks. Padres add on 2-0.
You know, give credit to Nick Hundley taking that chance. You don't want to make the last out at third base, but when you're ahead in the game, you can take those chances. The Padres have to be aggressive on the base paths.
So that's a gift run in every way. First of all, Weeks should have caught the ball off the bat of Nick Hundley, but didn't. And then he commits the throwing error that gets Hundley the final 90 feet in the Padre run. Cabrera slaps it foul. Everett is struck out and grounded to third tonight. As you note the error by Weeks, we should also turn the page and look at the Padre dugout. They haven't committed an error in 9 games. They're now the 4th best fielding team in the National League. They've committed 9 early, but none in the last 9 games.
Fastball in, change up away, guys.
Yep.
Look for it.
Let's see if we can sneak into Jonathan Lucroy and see a grip. Change up right here, Mark Sweeney.
Just off the head of the bat, cued by Cabrera. The count stays at 2-2.
Not to put you on the spot, Mark, but the best changeup thrown to you by a right-handed pitcher.
Best guy thrown?
Yeah, best changeup.
Oh boy, there were a lot of them. That was the toughest pitch for me.
Yeah.
Just to that arm speed, but I'd have to say Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah.
And the count full. Another changeup. Will Venable on deck. There's Trevor.
Hey, he's sitting with Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder, the TV voices of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Of course, he traded to Milwaukee and was in their bullpen as he concluded his career. But always a Padre in the hearts of San Diego fans.
Absolutely.
Number 51. Ball 4. Cabrera with a 2-out walk.
All right, gang. Well, we asked you about our Twitter poll question earlier. Who would be your pick to win the NL Central? And look at that. A lot of people out there think Brewers are going to win. Hashtag Brewers Central. Coming in second are the Cincinnati Reds, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Cubs. Bringing up the rear there. Only 2% for the Cubs.
Got a feeling there's a little Milwaukee bias in our audience tonight, huh? Good to have him aboard. As Venable with Cabrera threat. Try to pick up a steal here and get in scoring position with 2 outs.
Guys, looking at that Twitter poll, I do think the Pirates are going to get over 500 this year. And heads up, if they get in position, they're playing well right now.
Hey, good bullpen for the Buccos as well. They're second in the National League with a 1.9 ERA. Oh, that Pirate bullpen.
As Kyle Loesch, you see his finger dislocated in the win on Monday night when he was running to first base, caught his finger. Awkward, unusual injury. Jerko was covering. Must have caught him the loop belt buckle. And he says he's all right and doesn't want to miss a turn. They may delay his next start a day or two, but fortunately not a serious injury. Didn't feel very good. Up the middle. Oh, a blind glove work by Estrada. But the Padres, an unearned run, a single, sacrifice, and an error, and Hundley with some aggressive base running to earn that second tally. It's 2-0 at the halfway mark at Petco.
Wasn't invited to the big ceremony late last year when the statue, they presented the Bob Uecker statue there at Miller Park. How about that?
Well,
It was hard this winter. I mean, I was glad to get out of it this winter.
Oh, you were inside?
Inside, yes. They put a coin slot in there to try and help pay for this thing. And it got a little
Wait a
testy
minute.
in there.
Your hands are in your pockets in a statue.
Yes, that was one of the things that I enjoyed most about my playing career. So I thought that's the way I'd want to be remembered.
The one and only Bob Uecker. See, those are he's got the gift. We did give him a gift. He was wondering what kind of gifts we would have. So we got a San Diego Padre t-shirt, and those are real San Diego sunglasses. And that makes the man right there.
Yeah, he's very appreciative of the gift. That's great.
No, unfortunately, we only had 3 minutes with Bob. We could have gone 3 hours and 3 minutes. So 2-0 the score here in the top of the 6th inning. It'll be Segura, Braun, and Lucroy for Milwaukee. That's in there, 1-1. Segura is grounded to second and fly to center field. You're telling Gene Autry stories. He loved the Cowboy. And Cowboy certainly, like all of us, enjoyed the tremendous wit and sense of humor of Bob. High hopper to Headley. He throws across for the first down. And there was one story about Mr. Autry. They were having a party at a home in San Fernando Valley, and they had a big party, and it was going on, and his first wife decided there was really time for everyone to go home, so she announced the party's over. It was getting a little rowdy, and baseball people can do that after a libation or two.
Sure.
So she chased everyone out, and Gene was very upset by it. And the next sound you heard was the lawnmower, and Gene had brought the lawnmower into the living room and mowed the carpet. The shag carpet, just flying pieces of carpet.
Oh.
It ruined my party. Oh my!
What a great story. Did Bob mention, Dick, or after the interview, why did he choose to have the hands in his pockets?
He wouldn't tell me. But that just is such an unusual pose.
It is. But you know what? And I don't know the answer to this, but.
Hit well to right center. Denorfia gets there.
When I look at that statue, Bob's from Milwaukee, right?
No, I don't think he originally is from Milwaukee. He was with the Milwaukee Braves when he came up, and the Atlanta Braves. And then I guess loved Milwaukee, moved back there. I think he's from the South, maybe Atlanta.
I just think of, my dad, and I think of guys from the Midwest. Whenever they're just hanging out, they always have their hands in their pockets, like jiggling their chain, their change. Just hanging out, and that's totally Midwestern to me for some reason.
Well, I've got to go and ask him. The story that we started to tell, he started to tell, and it's kind of an interesting one, is that Al Hurt somehow knew about Uecker and
the trumpeter,
wit. Yeah, the great jazz trumpeter,
the Tijuana Brass, right?
And he recommended,
that's Herb Halpern,
him to Johnny Carson.
Oh,
and of course Johnny absolutely loved Uecker. Uecker was on the Tonight Show with Carson 100 times, more than 100 times.
Yep. That's awesome.
I love his story when the Braves, with the Phils, whoever it was, he had 6 years in the major leagues as a backup catcher. Came to his house, and his dad was there, and they wanted to sign him to a contract, and his dad said, "How much?" And they said it'd be $2,000, and his father said, "Can you give me a week? I think I could raise it." 2 outs to Jonathan Lucroy, who's grounded out twice. 2 balls and a strike. I'm a little upset, however, the fact that he would have the audacity to use that beautiful T-shirt, San Diego giveaway T-shirt on opening day, as a towel to mop his brow. to speak to him about those manners. 2-2. And a protective swing by Lucroy. So the information coming in, he was born in Milwaukee, so they settled there. And
hometown son, huh?
Yeah. It's a great city. I love Milwaukee.
I love Milwaukee as well. I really do.
See, the Padres have a 4-game series in Milwaukee, July 22nd through 25th. And one bounces in, and the count full. To his credit, Edinson Volquez, who led the National League in most walks last year, has not offered a free pass tonight. Only his second 3-ball count. And staying ahead of the hitters. Good lesson learned. All over the place to Lucroy. Full count. Ground ball up the middle. Cabrera smothers it. Can he get him? Yes! What a play! A one-hop throw to Alonso. Cabrera, the defensive play of the game. And Volquez has thrown 6. Terrific defense by the shortstop. Oh, my.
Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week with 3 great matchups as the NL East leading Braves head to Detroit to take on the Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera and his Tigers. Or the Phillies battle the Mets, or the Reds take on the Nationals. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Chevrolet returns this week at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Get your baseball fix right here on Fox.
Edinson Volquez hydrating there in the dugout with Everett Cabrera on the top bench. What a play for the shortstop. Chase Headley leads off the bottom half of the 6th inning. 2-0 Padres. Headley is grounded out and lined to right. We found out why the Euchre statue, that particular pose of his hands in his pockets. He said, you know, when their artists are trying to, size you up and do it, a lot of standing around. When I'm standing around, I put my hands in my pockets. So they said, well, don't you want a microphone or something? No, I kind of like my hands in my pockets. Really? So that's why they did it there. Fouled at the plate. Let's go back to that terrific play by Cabrera. That ball was almost in the outfield grass.
And the thing that amazes me is how quickly he gets back up to his feet. And it's okay to one-hop it. Just don't throw it over the head of Alonso. Give him a chance.
Bang, bang at first.
Yes.
1-2 to Headley. Padres getting a run on the home run by Carlos Quentin on deck. And the other unearned run, a single by Headley, and on a sacrifice kept right on running around, and a wild throw by Weeks brought him in. 3-2 now. The count, full count. Second time tonight he's taken the count full. Quentin waits, and then Alonso here in the home half of the 6th inning.
Notice Chase Headley going after a lot of fastballs up and away.
That seems to be the way they're pitching him from that left side. Joe Plantier coaching up Yonder Alonso. Look at how they're pitching him.
Yeah. Brought to you by Nissan.
And another foul.
Yeah, and up and away. Always talking hitting. Will Venable and Nick Hundley.
Off the fists and an easy roller to Weeks. One away. Carlos Quentin steps up. His last time in the batter's box. A very pleasant experience.
Oh, I think he got all of that one. Hanging curveball, sending it into the top basket of the Western Metal Supply Company building. Stayed back on that nicely. And it'll be interesting to see how Estrada goes after him with nobody on base.
Singled his first time up. They measured the home run at 392 feet, but that's because the measurement ends when it hits the wall, the bricks out there. If that building isn't there, it's a 450-foot home run. First pitch strike. Alonso on deck. Just like you start a season, you don't want to go 2-3 games without a hit. You start worrying about it.
Sure.
And the same way with a home run hitter. They want to get that first one in the book.
Well, let's see if Estrada goes with fastballs away here and to see if Carlos drives it to the opposite field, because he can do that.
Up the middle. There's Segura. 2 away. Let's go down to Kelly Kroll. Kelly.
Well, Yonder Alonso getting to be part of a pretty cool event tomorrow. The Padres and MLB teamed up to show the screening of the new Jackie Robinson movie, 42, to 100 teens here locally with the Boys and Girls Club. And Yonder was telling me, you know, the Boys and Girls Club is a big thing for him because he grew up as a kid going there all the time. And so he'll be there to do a Q&A. He's also going to raffle off that 42 jersey he wore on Jackie Robinson Day and a few other freebies for the kids. So fun times.
Shift on Kelly, and the ball right to Segura, who was playing on the second base side of the bag, and on 3 groundouts, the Padres gone in order after 6. 2-0 San Diego.
Sweeney, I see in the post-game show, boy, what a performance so far from Edison Volquez.
Yeah, no walks tonight. Edison Volquez has a certain purpose tonight, and he has the breaking ball, has the changeup, but I like his fastball too. He looks very calm on the mound tonight.
Don't forget Carlos Quentin, what a bomb to put the Padres ahead. We'll have all that for you. Plus, we're going to take a tour around Major League Baseball, show you some of the other games in progress and the highlights, and you'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black. All that and more when we see you tonight after the final out. Gentlemen.
All right, look forward to it. And commentary as Edinson Volquez hits another ground ball right at the third baseman, Headley. Ricky Weeks out, and that's 9 in a row retired by Volquez.
I see the action out of the hand of Edinson Volquez darting down to the zone. Hence the ground balls. That one right there by Ricky Weeks. That means one thing to me. Staying on top of the baseball, getting on top, and pronating in to get that rotation so you get that good sink on the two-seamer. Staying on top of the changeup so you get that good dip off the table. He's locked in. He's in a groove.
12 ground ball outs for Volquez. Carlos Gomez, push bunt single and a hard ground ball to third. Each pitcher allowing just 4 hits, but the Padres getting 2 runs, 1 on a home run, the other unearned. Change up.
You know, Edinson Volquez, he had a hurdle to get over in the first 3 innings because the Milwaukee Brewers, first 3 innings this year, outscoring the opponents 52-26.
Yeah, they start fast this team.
So he stopped that.
First inning alone, 17-3. They've outscored the opposition. As Dale Thayer getting loose. This could be the last inning for Volquez. He's at 87 pitches. Another change.
And you know, it's so ironic. It's almost like a 180-degree turn for the Brewers because innings 4 through 9, Milwaukee is outscored 58-29. Wow. So if you can hold them early, right, chances are it's going to be pretty good.
Full count now to Gomez. You know, in the back of his mind, Volquez realizes he hasn't walked a single man. Best control of this season.
Go right after him right here. You've got 1 out. You've got a 2-run lead. You don't want to walk that hitter. Get the tying run in the batter's box.
Struck him out. Lost the bat in the process on the changeup. 10 straight outs recorded by Volquez.
Well, what does this tell you, folks? When Edinson Volquez throws a changeup, 3-2, confidence. He's got the good feel for it.
Luckily, that bat didn't strike anyone. Hit the backstop behind home plate. 2 away.
That's the last pitch Gomez was looking for. 3-2.
Betancourt looks at another changeup right at the knees.
What the Mario Soto is going on out there with Volquez? He's got the sweet combo working tonight.
One and one. The Brewers with a single in each of the first 4 innings for their total of 4 hits. All the base hit singles, but nothing since the 4th. 10 straight outs. Quite a run here by Volquez.
You know, Mark Sweeney made the point earlier, Dick, about how the body language of Volquez.
This one by the dive of Headley, and Betancourt with a 2-out base hit. That brings the tying run to the plate. Martin Maldonado, powerful hitting catcher, and today at first base. Struck out and fouled out. This Milwaukee team proud of the fact they play long ball. So a 2-0 lead. Tenuous at best against this Brew Crew, but a nice ground ball to Cabrera. That's the inning. And Volquez has completed 7 outstanding innings, shutout pitching for the right-hander as he looks for his first win of the year. Park. Fox Sports San Diego presenting Padres baseball. Brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Mercury Insurance. Get a quote and get 2 free Padres tickets at mercuryinsurance.com/Padres. With Mark Grant and Kelly Kroll, Dick Hinberg, reminding you to stay tuned for Padres Live. The M&Ms out there will have all the highlight scores, instructional and more. As the Padres, Edinson Volquez, nice to see him wearing that big smile.
Oh, yeah.
He should be happy. Denorfia bounces one up the middle, and Weeks bobbles it, and Denorfia safe on Weeks' second error of the game. Should be 3, actually, but some generous scorekeeping gave Hundley a hit on a pop fly that Weeks dropped. Sometimes when you're in a hitting slump, it impacts the glove as well.
No, I was just going to say, you're absolutely right. So both ends right now for Ricky Weeks.
17,205 with us at Petco tonight. Cool Wednesday night. Here's Jurko. Lined into a double play and lined to right field. So he's hit the ball hard twice. Nothing to show for it. Ground ball up the middle and into center field. Denorfia turns and holds. Throw in behind him by Gomez, but Dino back alertly, and the Padres have something going here in the 7th inning. An error and a base hit. And that'll bring up Nick Hundley with no one out.
Well, Jed Jurko swinging early in the count. In the infield, you saw Segura playing him to pull a little bit. Quick throw by Gomez. Smart play by Gomez, trying to throw behind the runner. Denorfia. Putting a little pressure right now on the Brewers. Time to add on here in the 7th.
It's only the 5th hit for the Padres, the big blow being the home run by Carlos Quentin. Estrada now at the 90 pitch mark.
We've got to get that bunt down. First and second. Bring in the third baseman. See the Brewers run that wheel play again and try to get that force at third base with the shortstop Segura.
It worked last night with the third baseman charging, making the play and throwing back to the shortstop covering. Not this time. Hundley takes ball 1. Michael Gonzalez, you saw the left-hander getting ready in the bullpen for the Brewers. Jesus Guzman on deck. Apparently to hit for Edinson Volquez.
Yeah, Dick, that wheel play, the third baseman in here, and then the shortstop goes over there for the force out. In the event of a sharply bunted baseball to either the pitcher or the third baseman charging.
There it is. The throw back. Now no one covering first base. And it works again. As Hundley safe on the sacrifice fielder's choice. They put out 5-6 on Denorfia. Now the way you can mess up that play is you don't bunt, you swing away, and there's nothing but holes out there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of movement. You're absolutely right. Remember, it's a force play, so just fire a strike to Segura covering at third base.
Guzman is called back, and Marcotte, left-handed bat, will take his shot with 2 on and 1 out. Of course, the left-hander's working in the bullpen. We'll see if Ron Renicky counters with a southpaw. And here comes Renicky, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to see lefty against lefty with a couple on for the Padres and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Gonzalez beckoned from the bullpen. Pitching change here at Petco Park with the Padres here in the 7th inning leading 2-0. of 6 Tuesday nights, and that will continue throughout the season. Members of the first responders community can receive $6 off any game, any available tickets priced $14 or higher. Some restrictions may apply, so visit the Petco Park box office for all details. And we again thank men and women in our fire departments and our rescue squads, lifeguards, for their service and bravery. So Jesus Guzman now returns. He was in the on-deck circle. Katse brought in, and in the double move here, Bud Black, and maybe this by intent, knowing the left-hander was throwing out there, he liked the odds of Guzman against Gonzalez. Katse's bat is wasted, however, using 2 men to pinch hit in this situation. Guzman steps in with Jerko at second, Hundley at first, and 1 out here in the 7th. Foul tip. First pitch fastball. Out of play. So Edinson Volquez, what a night for him. It's a star in his cap with 7 innings of shutout ball, 5 hits, all singles, no walks, and 3 strikeouts.
That's the big stat for me. No walks. Confident with his changeup, confident with his curveball. He broke it out early. 94 pitches on the night for Edinson.
High, 1-2. Oh, how desperately the Padres and Bud Black needed one of his starters to give this kind of outing. Let's hope it starts a trend.
Yeah, first starter this year to go 7 innings scoreless.
Strike 3 call. Guzman didn't think so. So 2 away.
Oh, pretty good pitch.
Yeah, 2-seamer came back, caught the inside corner. So with 2 outs, Everett Cabrera steps up. He struck out, grounded out, and walked. Would be big to pick up an insurance run here. Batting right-handed, and so far this year, very effective from the right side. .350.
Well, Gonzalez, fastball, slider, change, curveball, 87-91. He relies on that breaking pitch, that slider. Call it curveball slider. It's kind of a slurry type pitch down and into the righties. In fact, you might see it right here. There it is.
Got away, and the runners can move up 90. Pass ball is the ruling.
You might want to check for a frog with a tennis racket on that one.
So now a base hit would get the Padres 2 more.
Oh, very catchable ball. And a break for San Diego. Now the 2-out knock needs to come into play here. Boy, Martin Maldonado is in on the grass at first base, cutting down the range.
Fouled out of play.
If Cabrera tries to go that way now with 2 strikes, he will back up. Oh, how nice. Way to go.
Delivered 4 out of 12. Runners in scoring position so far this year. He's a veteran. Gonzalez, 34 years of age. Been around, first came up to the big leagues with the Pirates. Atlanta for 3 years, Baltimore, Texas, last year in Washington. Signed as a free agent by Milwaukee in the offseason. Swung on and missed. Tried to check. Down goes Cabrera. And the Padres leave 2 in scoring position. After 7, 2-0 San Diego. Edinson Volquez looking for his first win of the year. A sparkling effort. A lot of ground balls, no walks, 3 strikeouts, only 5 hits, all singles in 7 shutout innings. And the Padres got their first run and first home run of the year from Carlos Quentin. A rocket shot up into the 3rd deck of the Western Supply Company building. Then a sacrifice led to a run. Hundley goes to second and keeps on going. No one at third. Ball gets away from the shortstop Segura, and Hundley scampers home with an unearned run to make it 2-0. There's the line score. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Padres. No runs, 5 hits. A couple of errors by Ricky Weeks. That throwing error leading to a run. On the Milwaukee side, as Luke Gregerson comes in to pitch the 8th inning.
Well, the one thing that jumps out at you there, Dick, is on the line of Edinson Volquez, no walks. An outstanding performance by the veteran right-hander. Now he will turn it over to cool hand Luke Gregerson to take on these Brewers top of the 8th. Good numbers for Luke.
9th appearance. 172 batting average against, and he'll face the pinch hitter Logan Schaefer. Schaefer only 3 hits and 21 at bats, but 2 of the 3 hits as a pinch hitter. Schaefer, then the leadoff man Aoki, and Segura in the Milwaukee 8th. So Marco Estrada goes 6 1/3, 2 runs, 1 earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, struck out 3. Good effort by Estrada. First pitch strike with a fastball.
Jerry Naring having a chat with Ryan Braun. Probably going over a little scouting report. He's seen Luke Gregerson, but it's always good to have the refresher course. Nice slider.
0-2 to Schaefer. Struck him out. 3 pitches and down goes Schaefer.
Went back to the slider. Got the backdoor one. Down and in.
Leadoff hitter Aoki. a single and a couple of groundouts. Two nothing the lead for San Diego here in the 8th. With the home run power coming up in the Milwaukee lineup. That slider misses.
You know, the brothers, Narin, coaches for Ron Renicky. Number 13, the hitting coach, Johnny Narin. And then the bench coach is Jerry. So I got my Narins mixed up. Actually, there probably is no Jerry Narin. Johnny just throws on glasses. It's kind of like Rick Russell and Paul Russell. I never believed there was a Paul Russell. I think Rick just threw on a pair of glasses.
There's a strike, 2-1. That's what happens when you have a Russell to judgment.
Very good.
3-1. This is a tender moment here in this game with only a 2-run lead. You just get one base runner and that tying run is still in the batter's box.
Well, we know that the slider is the strength of Luke Gregerson. See if he throws it here 3-1. Nick Hundley threw down a 1. Fastball away.
Didn't get it. And the walk to Aoki brings up the tying run. First walk allowed by Padre pitching tonight. Brings up Gene Segura with Ryan Braun moving into the on deck circle. Segura 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a fly to center. Young guy doesn't swing from the end of the bat, gives up a little.
Ooh, got to be careful there. There's a hanging slider, inner half.
Last night 3 hits for Segura, including a triple, a couple of singles, stole a base, knocked in a run with a ground out. That's where you want to put the slider.
Yep. Can't get hurt out there.
This is where you have that hitter set up. He's thinking slider outside. He's kind of guess if the ball's coming around that corner, it's going to be a slider away, and next thing you know, it's a fastball on the edge.
You're going to see another slider here probably. Yep.
Oh, he left that one in the middle of the plate, but it's a pop up behind short, and Cabrera wants it. 2 away.
You know, even though this was a hanging slider, the body of Segura is way out in front. You talk about staying back. Mark Sweeney talks about keeping the body back, keeping the hands back. Look where this pitch is on contact. That's right down the middle, but look at his body. Brings him to his knees. Hands forward, body forward, did not stay back. So he got away with one, but it was the speed of the slider that got Segura.
Well, the guy taking his position in the batter's box now, you don't want to hang one of those. He has a single, Ryan Braun, in 3 trips. Sent one deep to right field for an out for the last time up. Braun with 6 home runs, among the league leaders, and 20 runs batted in. But he hits this one right to Cabrera, and the inning's over. To the bottom of the 8th, the Padres leading 2-0. Charles Jr. star of the game, Edinson Volquez. A star performance, shutout, pitching for 7 innings, no walks, and he stands to win his first game of the year. Lots of ground balls. In fact, 14 of the outs tonight were ground outs.
He was on his game tonight. Every pitch moving out of his hand. Good curveball. Confident. And you know what? Mechanically speaking as well, I think he was right on. We talked about the straight line towards home plate. He incorporated that nicely, and the results paid off.
It was 13 ground outs. 1 ground out for Luke Gregerson in the top half of this inning, but nevertheless, that's the kind of pitching the Padres need going on to May. Snap this losing streak at 5 in a row, 7 straight losses at home. But it's not done yet as Tom Gorzolani comes in. We saw him last night. He'll face Venable to lead off, and then Headley and Quinton scheduled to follow. Gorzolani came in for 1 out last night with the bases loaded in the 7th inning and struck out Alonso. First pitch strike Venable. He's popped up and grounded out twice. Again, there's some great matchups with the Giants coming to town Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. I'll give you the lineup. Ground ball right side toward the hole. Weeks with a good diving stop and gets him. Oh, that was close. And here comes Bud Black. That's the second time he's been out to debate with Bruce Dreckman. Chris Denorfia had what he thought was an infield hit, and the replay shows he did, but Dreckman called him out on a ground out. Let's see how close this one was. Good play by Weeks.
Oh, very close.
There's the foot. Oh, it's just bang bang.
Oh, I think he is safe. Yeah, it is bang bang, Dick. Wow.
But consistent as Dreckman, he called him out both times. Similar to play. So 1 out. And here's Headley. Headley's 0 for 3. To right field, a long run for Aoki, and he tracks it down. 2 quick outs here in the 8th. Carlos Quinton, a single, a home run, and a ground out. The hitting star tonight. Singled in the first. A long home run into the 1-2-3 deck. Western Metal Supply Company, and then off a window, almost hit the Western in the printout on top of that brick facade.
Burke Badenhop looks like he's getting the call.
He'll face Quinton when we return to Petco Park, with the Padres trying to add to a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the 8th. Robbie, Craig, and Tony in the edit room tonight are artistes. Putting that nice little package together.
Yeah, job well done as always.
So Badenhot to pitch to Quentin. Ball one. There's his numbers.
The opponent's hitting 280 off the right-hander. Badenhot, fastball, slider to change. High 80s, low 90s on the fastball.
High chopper deep into the hole. A long throw for Betancourt, and he gets him. So the Padres go in order in the 8th. Top of the 9th. Middle of the order from Milwaukee coming up. To try to pick up his 3rd save of the season. Not many opportunities for him. And trying to close out a 3-pitcher shutout against the Brewers.
Well, last time out for Houston Street, there was an inning against these Brewers yesterday. Remember, as Dick mentioned, that inning of work, 1 walk in the 6-3 loss.
Also a single in that 9th inning. His ERA up there. He hasn't had many chances to pitch. 7 hits in 6 innings and 4 runs. Amarista comes in and played left field. And you could put him in the pitcher's spot should the Padres go to the bottom of the 9th inning. So this is the real deal. This is why you're in that bullpen. Come in and get the final 3 outs. Lucroy, 3 ground outs to the left side of the infield. The last time an outstanding play by Cabrera to deny him a base hit.
And even though that pitch was a strike, Houston Street's telling himself, I've got to get that pitch down and away. He wanted it down and away, it leaked middle in. See if he makes an adjustment here.
Reached out, a fly ball to center. Venables there for the out.
A little slider down and away off the end of the bat. A big first down for Houston Street and the Padres.
Ricky Weeks, a single and a couple of ground outs.
There you see the last 3 outings for Houston Street, Dick. An inning each outing. A hit in each of those outings. Hopefully goose eggs here. This one in 1 inning pitch. And be sure to stay tuned after this one for Padres Live after with Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney. Coming up right after this one.
They deserve to chew on a win, don't they?
I'm right there with you. Absolutely.
Weeks to be followed by Carlos Gomez. Weeks has only 1 home run this year, but he's a home run hitter. There's a fastball for a strike. 1-1. University of Texas Longhorn on the hill. Two and one.
Really pulling off the slider. And that wasn't even one of Houston Street's better sliders. You know, that might have been just a cut fastball after second look. But the big key on the outer half of the plate, keeping it away, giving Ricky Weeks center field, right center field. Don't leave anything on the middle half of the plate.
Now the count full. Don't want to walk him with Gomez and Betancourt lurking, each with long distance power. Everything away. And that went in. A line drive to left. Amarista out there makes the play. He started in a couple of steps and then had to fade back as that was a rope to left for the second out.
Got away with one there. Just didn't get it out. Thank goodness that Ricky Weeks really didn't get the best swing out of it. It even looks like he maybe jammed himself a little bit.
So Carlos Gomez with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. His hit with bunt single. That's a strike, paints the outside corner. 17,205 at Petco tonight. Rooting for a Padres home win. Two strikes on Gomez. Fly ball toward the line. Tough play. Long run. Jerko can't make it. Ball rolls away, and continuing his course is Gomez into second base. And the Brewers aren't gone yet. You couldn't have placed that better between right fielder DeNorfia, second baseman Jerko, first baseman Alonso, and just fair.
That's a long run for everybody. Alonso out of the play. His back is to it. Jerko, I don't know whether he got tripped up or what, but brought to his knees, cannot come up with the catch, and DeNorfia runs that one in. Now, Gomez is seeing the whole play in front of him. At first, it almost looked like, okay, I'm just going to, concede the fly ball, game's over. But he noticed no one was going to get to that one.
So Betancourt represents the tying run. He has 3 homers this year, including a 3-run shot on Monday night in that first inning that sealed the win early for Milwaukee. Singled his last time up. One ball and 1 strike. Padres' last shutout was back in August of last year at Petco against the Atlanta Braves. And they're down to the final strike again as Betancourt going after pitches off the plate. This is only the second time tonight that the Brewers have had a man at second base. One ball, 2 strikes on Yuniesky Betancourt. Didn't offer this time, and it's 2-2.
You got to stick with the slider here.
Line to left field. And Marista, he plays it off the hop, and that's going to allow Betancourt to go to second. Is he in there? Yes, and it's a 2-1 game. Amarista need to play that on the hop and hold it to a single. Now the tying run's in scoring position. Tried to make the shoestring catch, and that gave Betancourt an extra base. It's 2-1.
That could have been disastrous. If that ball gets by Alexi Amarista in left field, I'll tell you what, there's a good chance that Betancourt, for sure, being on third base, he could have scored. And it looks like they're pitch running for Betancourt.
Josh Prince goes in to run. Aaron Bolsley on the phone. Maldonado up. Tying run at second. Strike one. Guess they're going to rule that a double. Player back up throwing for San Diego.
Foul ball is the call. No, he's out. Plate umpire Paul Emmel says you were in fair territory when the ball hit you. Here comes Renegade to argue. He was tossed last night on a call that certainly went against him. But Emmel saw that ball in fair territory, and the runner Maldonado, watch where he is. It comes back to bite him, and he's out of the batter's box, and that's the final out of the game. As the Padres hang on for a very tough 2-1 needed victory. They salvage the third game of the series, 2-1. Padres Live brought to you by Cox. Right around the corner, and Mike Pomerantz and company will analyze it all for you.